ezi onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, Chukwu okike abịa ma bụ onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-erubere isi, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ ọka aka. Ụbọchị ene ka anyị na-etuga eze ebube dị ngọzi, mmalite na ọgwụgwụ. Ndị gboo wee tụọ oge ebighị ebi, onye nwe m, ụmụ gị wee gbakọọ n'ụwa niile iwe nara ozi ọma nke gị onwe gị n'ezi ha site n'ọnụ mmadụ dị ndụ na nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-asị na onweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị onwe anyị bụ n'ihi na ọ bụ anụkpa ahụ sọsọ ka mmadụ dị ndụ bụ. Ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ, maka na okwu nsọ gị na-adịghị ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi, n'ihi na okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu. Ọ bịa mere Biafra ga-eji wee bịa na mgbe nke anyị. Anyị wee na-akpọkụ gị wee na-arịọ gị na-asị, lekwa ude nke anyị na-asụ n'akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka o metụta gị n'obi. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt gotu egbe wezuga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị, wee nye gị nsọpụrụ n'ụtụ na-eji ama mgbe niile, n'ihi na anyị enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị. Anyị nwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nzukọ anyị niile. Ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbapụ n'ụwa niile. Anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị na-efe nwanyị akpụ isi ala nye, ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija mma, na-asị, lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile ka kasị wee baa ha ọnụ, ha wee daa hapụghị ikuni ọzọ. Obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala nwekwa n'ihi eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anya ọnwa anyị bụ ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkọ ha nsọ gị, na-asị na enweghị chi ọzọ egwezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke, mana nwere onye kere na n'otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị ebi, mara onye bụ ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise ise ise.
Wow. The woman's Nnamdi Kanu, honorable leader, supreme leader of the Biafran Republic government, of the Biafran people. Brethren, it is extremely cold here, below 0 degrees. I'm hiding away from the open field, but yet it's freezing cold. Oh my goodness me. Well, I have to do this very quickly here so that I go into hiding. My name is Raphael Chamaka Ajere. By the grace of Chukwu Kabiyama Porimi Henile, I am acting in the office of the Information Minister, Biafran Republic Government in exile. I greet you, Biafrans, and I bring you good tidings. In this prayer of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, he said that Akanshi Hagabahono, their own hand with which they have committed evil against the righteous, they will use it to stuff their mouth. Today, the British Prime Minister is the most unpopular person in England today. I will not be the one saying it. I will be bringing news and reports from England and from British people, so you'll be hearing it yourself. I don't want to be the one saying it. So let me just go straight to the news that it will shock you. Terrorists held in Egypt, his release was secured by the British Prime Minister. But Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, who is not a terrorist, is left to languish in Nigeria prison, having been kidnapped from Kenya. You see, this kidnap of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is going to change everything. That is why we know that this is the end of the road for enemies of Biafra. This is our time of redemption. This is our time of freedom. Please come together and let us go there. Please bear with me. I'm going to rush it as much as I can because of the time that I have. This is an update that I saw from HJB News. And some of the videos I'll be playing from there. The person you are seeing his picture here is the current Prime Minister of Britain. His name is Keir Starmer, whatever you call his name. Keir Starmer. Now, the picture of the man you are seeing here, let's read with me. Let me bring okay, let me be sure. 1 minute, guys, please. Let me remove this prayer and okay, and bring the news bigger like this so that you'll be able to read with me. Yeah, you can see the Twitter handle, HJB News on Twitter. Meet the hate preacher, Abu Qatada, aka Osama bin Laden's ambassador in Europe. That's this picture you are seeing here. Osama bin Laden's ambassador in Europe. He arrived in England on a fake passport and cost taxpayers £3 million in benefit. We also spent a decade trying to extradite him to Jordan, where he was wanted for terrorism. His defense barrister, the person that was defending these terrorists, is this guy who is today the Prime Minister of England. Does it ring a bell? Why this man doesn't care that Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen who was kidnapped in Kenya, was, mishandled, manhandled, cases not heard, everything against him was never legal. They used a law that never existed to sentence him, and they even used Bible to sentence him. You see, so it now tells you why they were sympathetic with terrorists, and they are supporting terrorism instead of allowing Nnamdi Kanu to go free. Now, I'm going to bring you more. Now, you're going to listen to this. This is this same man, Customer, who will be the one talking. And now the name of the terrorist that was brought back to England is Allah Abd El Fattah. This thing is making the rounds right now. Before I will listen to this man, let us listen to this British guy that actually said it all in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, he made it clear. So I want you to bring your ear close to this particular broadcast and listen to this British man who actually nailed it all here. Please join me. Listen. Then after, I will play the voice or the voice of the Prime Minister himself from 2022. Now listen to this.
So back in May 2025, Rodney said he was not familiar with Lucy Connolly's case about posting on social media. Do you remember that?
I'm not across the details of the particular case, but let me give you the principles that I would apply. Firstly, I'm strongly in favour of free speech. We've had free speech in this country for a very, very long time, and we protect it fiercely.
But he was very familiar with this Al Fattah's chap who was jailed, who was in jail, in prison in Egypt, and was also on their terror watch list. He was very familiar with his case.
And can I start by raising the case of Allah Abdul Fattah? Yeah. As the Prime Minister knows and has said, he's a British citizen, jailed for the crime of posting on social media and been imprisoned in Egypt for most of the last 9 years. He's been on hunger strike for the last 6 months. Now, the Prime Minister just said that he raised it with President Sisi. Could he tell us what progress he made in securing Allah's release?
It's funny how he mentions that he's a British citizen. He actually became a British citizen whilst being imprisoned in an Egyptian jail. So he wasn't actually British at all until someone made him a British citizen from the...
Are you hearing that? This particular person that they secured his release from Egypt, and they said he's British citizen. It is now being exposed that he was not even a British citizen. They made him a citizen while he was in prison. He came out from prison and he was made a British citizen. And now they are now on their floor claiming that he was citizen. I am not the one that said it. It is this man that said it. Let me allow him to repeat it again. Listen. It is Tama that is talking about him being a British citizen and they secured his release. You understand? Listen to this, and then this man will say...
His case.
Listen.
And can I start by raising the case of Allah Abdul Fattah? Yeah. As the Prime Minister knows and has said, he's a British citizen, jailed for the crime of posting on social media and been imprisoned in Egypt for most of the last 9 years. He's been on hunger strike for the last 6 months. Now, the Prime Minister just said that he raised it with President Sisi. Could he tell us what progress he made in securing Allah's release?
It's funny how he mentions that he's a British citizen. He actually became a British citizen whilst being imprisoned in an Egyptian jail. So he wasn't actually British at all until someone made him a British citizen from the UK whilst in prison. And also, remember, Rodney likes to talk about not inciting violence. I'm guessing he's not read some of the tweets from Al Fatah's posts on X.
I'm equally, though, against incitement to violence against other people. That has long been an offence in our country, and rightly so. And so I say, don't know the details of this case, but free speech, yes. Incitement to violence, no.
Incitement to violence, no.
Now, you see, this guy is somebody that have been inciting violence. This person that they secured his release. You can be seeing some of the posts that have been, screenshotted and posted on this particular video. You see some of the things that this Allah Abdul El Fattah have been posting. This person have been inciting violence in England on social media, inciting violence, and yet they secured his release and made him citizen. What was their intention? Now, Nnamdi Kanu, who has never incited violence in England, oh my God, why? Nnamdi Kanu, oh my Nnamdi Kanu, who has never incited violence anywhere, at least not even in England. You understand? But he is a pure British citizen. Yet they allowed him to be kidnapped and is rotting in Nigerian prison, in Sokoto, and yet a man who is steadily inciting violence. Look at what the guy wrote, Allah Abdul El Fattah. He said, at LLT, I am telling you that I hate white people. You can see the post of this guy. And this time I knows him very well. They know he was not even a British citizen. They made him citizen and secured his release from Egypt. Are you understanding me now? God, just be following this video. Let me take it back. Just follow this video very carefully. They made him British citizen from the prison.
Imprisoned in Egypt for most of the last 9 years. He's been on hunger strike for the last 6 months. Now, the Prime Minister just said that he raised it with President Sisi. Could he tell us what progress he made in securing Allah's release?
It's funny how he mentions that he's a British citizen. He actually became a British citizen whilst being imprisoned in an Egyptian jail. So he wasn't actually British at all until someone made him a British citizen from the UK whilst in prison. And also, remember, Rodney likes to talk about not inciting violence. I'm guessing he's not read some of the tweets from Al Fatah's posts on X.
I'm equally, though, against incitement to violence against other people. That has long been an offence in our country, and rightly so. And so I say, don't know the details of this case, but free speech, yes. Incitement to violence, no.
Incitement to violence, no. I guess he's not read any of these ones.
Look at another tweet. So the brilliant British dogs and monkeys really think terrorists will reveal their plans on Twitter? That is the same tweet from this guy that they made sure they released him from Egypt prison. A terrorist, though. One who is posting terrorism, inciting violence on X.
Incitement to violence, no. I guess he's not read any of these ones. They're available on X, by the way, if you want to go and read them. I'm guessing Rodney's probably overlooked
Look
that.
at another post from the same guy. Yes, I consider unaliving any colonialist, and especially Zionist heroic. We need to unalive more of them. This is a post from this guy. They secured his release from Egyptian prison, and they gifted him with British citizenship. Ciao. They gifted him. They blessed him with British citizenship. Are you following this?
No. I guess he's not read any of these ones. They're available on X, by the way, if you want to go and read them. I'm guessing Rodney's probably overlooked that, not interested in that. But fancy, hey, letting someone like this into the United Kingdom, and also not being familiar.
Look at that. Fucking hate white people. They don't understand sharing our community. A blight on the earth, they are. Good thing they stopped breeding. This is a post from this guy that Britain Prime Minister secured his release. Can you see that? Okay.
With Lucy Connolly's case, I guess he's more interested in people in foreign countries than British citizens.
Are you seeing that? So this is a clear evidence of what Britain become. This is a clear evidence of what Britain become. They release a terrorist and bring him back into Britain. Now, this is what Kastama was claiming here. Let me show you. This is the current Prime Minister of Britain. This is what he was claiming here. And this HJB News exposed. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he wasn't familiar with Lucy Connolly's case in May 2025, but he was very familiar with Alaa Abdel El Fattah's case in Egypt. Keir Starmer also said he was against inciting violence online towards other people. I guess Keir didn't read Alaa Abdel El Fattah's tweets that we have all seen.
So back in May
See that? This is the man. This is the current. He actually was trying to pretend as if he is against this man that was released. But he actually was the lawyer that stood for Osama bin Laden's representative in Europe. Everything is coming out. Everything is coming out now. Everything is being exposed now. It now tells you that the leadership in Britain are promoting terrorism while they are, supporting Nigeria in keeping Nnamdi. They are allowing Islamic fanatics to spread in Britain. And Nnamdi, who is fighting this same terror, they allow him to suffer in Nigerian prison. Now, British people are rising. Some of them are speaking up in their parliament. And this man had this to say. And I think if there's any sensitive British person, they will go out and support this man and support Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is actually moving a great crusade against these people. So you need to hear this, and then you understand that, look, the end of this evil has come. And Nnamdi Kanu is being vindicated. Biafra is being vindicated. We are about to happen. Biafra is about to happen. And there's nothing that will stop us. Nnamdi Kanu laid a curse on them. And that curse is taking effect now. Every of their secret is being exposed now. No wonder every little thing. They will support Palestine. They support Palestine. They are against the recognition of Somaliland. They are against anything that will support the safety of America and the safety of the Jewish people. Listen to this. And I support.
But if a migrant, legal or illegal, can't speak English, claims benefits, lives in social housing, refuses to work, rejects integration, commits crime, is a drain on our society, or even actively hates Britain and wishes to do us harm, that they should be removed from our country, regardless of how many millions of deportations that will inevitably result in. But if a migrant, legal or illegal, can't speak English, claims benefits, lives in social housing, refuses to work, rejects integration, commits crime, is a drain on our society, or even actively hates Britain and wishes to do us harm, that they should be removed from our country, regardless of how many millions of deportations that will inevitably result in.
One more time.
But if a migrant, legal or illegal, can't speak English, claims benefits, lives in social housing, refuses to work, rejects integration, commits crime, is a drain on our society, or even actively hates Britain and wishes to do us harm, that they should be removed from our country, regardless of how many millions of deportations that will inevitably result in.
Good. Now let me show you another video, which I believe I saved here this morning. God is exposing them, and there is no way they cannot hide. God is exposing them. This is the man, one of the men I'm talking about, Tommy Robinson. See this man, Tommy Robinson? This guy is doing a great job for Britain. And then he said, here is our pathetic Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, ironically telling Parliament back in November 2022 that Alaa Abdel El Fattah was imprisoned in Egypt for social media posts, demanding the then conservative government the man then secured his release. Since then, our pathetic prime minister has had thousands arrested and thrown into prison for social media posts. Between 30 to 33 people per day in England and Wales are arrested for online posts. Allah Abdel Fattah has a pretty colored past on social media. He has referred to Britons as dogs, monkeys. He has said he seriously hates white people. He has said police are not humans. We should unalive them all. He has denied the Holocaust, claiming there was no genocide against the Jewish by the Nazis. And he has described killing Zionists as heroic, all on social media. So why would our pathetic prime minister demand his release from an Egyptian prison for social media posts when he is imprisoned, so many over here for so much less? It shows where his political priorities lies. That's not with indigenous Britons. Here he is asking for the release of these.
And can I start by raising the case of Allah Abdel Fattah?
Yeah.
And can I start by raising the case of Allah Abdel Fattah?
Yeah.
As the Prime Minister knows and has said, he's a British citizen, jailed for the crime of posting on social media and been imprisoned in Egypt for most of the last 9 years. He's been on hunger strike for the last 6 months. Now, the Prime Minister just said that he raised it with President Sisi. Could he tell us what progress he made in securing Allah's release? And can I start by raising the case of Allah
Allah's release?
As the Prime Minister knows and has said, he's a British citizen, jailed for the crime of posting on social media and been imprisoned in Egypt for most of the last 9 years. He's been on hunger strike for the last 6 months. Now, the Prime Minister just said that he raised it with President Sisi. Could he tell us what progress he made in securing Allah's release?
Are you following? So he has an antecedent of calling for the release or defending terrorists. From defending the representative of Osama in Europe to calling for the release of a man who is actually rejecting and denouncing the Holocaust and calling for the unaliving of Jews and unaliving of British people, calling them names, dogs, and what have you. This man, the current prime minister, is calling for the release of that man from prison, calling for it on the parliament. Are you hearing that? But Nnamdi Kanu even lost case in England because they said they prefer their relationship with Nigeria instead of asking for Nnamdi Kanu to be released because he was kidnapped. Nnamdi Kanu's case is so glaring because he has won the cases in Nigeria. The UN have called for a country he holds their passport as of the parliament is the current prime minister, who was then asking for the release of a man, a well-known terrorist. Are you seeing this? Hey, thank God for the vindication of Nnamdi Kanu. This is the last video I will play for you, and then I will leave it here. Listen to this man. This one has been very outspoken, and he's addressing this same issue. I want us to listen to this man. He's addressing this same issue. Listen.
I bet the Egyptian government can't believe its luck. A British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, prepared to lie in order to take off their hands the animal that is Allah Abdel Fattah. They came out yesterday, the Egyptian government did, absolutely contradicting Starmer when he said he was not aware of the vile messages put out by Fattah. Well, if Starmer was aware of those messages and he brought Fattah into this country, it absolutely proves what I have been saying for years, that Starmer is anti-British. He took in someone from Egypt who was safely incarcerated in Egypt, pressed the Egyptian government to have him released, and then took him into the United Kingdom, brought an anti-British, anti-white, anti-Semitic, racist, violent-minded individual into our country, putting us at risk. For what benefit? Absolutely none. The only beneficiary here is Egypt. Starmer must go.
Repeat. Please repeat. I need to repeat it again so you understand what Starmer has done. Starmer have gone to import a terrorist sympathizer or allegedly terrorist that was locked away in Egypt, far away Egypt, who has evidence of his, social media posts and stirring of all this evil. He brings him in. They have made him a citizen, and then he secures him in. But a real, genuine man, an honest man, Nnamdi Kanu, who is calling for the safety of British people and the safety of the whole world, and calling out all these terror organizations and all these terrorist groups, Nnamdi Kanu is being locked up in the Sokoto prison. Listen to this man again.
I bet the Egyptian government can't believe its luck. A British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, prepared to lie in order to take off their hands the animal that is Alaa Abdel Fattah. They came out yesterday, the Egyptian government did, absolutely contradicting Starmer when he said he was not aware of the vile messages put out by Fattah. Well, if Starmer was aware of those messages and he brought Fattah into this country, it absolutely proves what I have been saying for years, that Starmer is anti-British. He took in someone from Egypt who was safely incarcerated in Egypt, pressed the Egyptian government to have him released, and then took him into the United Kingdom, brought an anti-British, anti-white, anti-Semitic, racist, violent-minded individual into our country, putting us at risk. For what benefit? Absolutely none. The only beneficiary here is Egypt. Starmer must go.
Now, you know what we need to be doing going forward? Our people in Britain, we must study this case, know everything about it, and use Nnamdi Kanu's case to juxtapose it. We need to use Nnamdi Kanu's case, juxtapose it, get the picture of this man, get the full story of this Al-Fattah, the terrorist that was brought in from Egypt, and get everything about him and use it to show the whole world what the British government and the British Prime Minister is doing, and actually the situation of Nnamdi Kanu now. A heavy protest with British people must ensue right now. This January, we need to create awareness in Britain. Our people need to, at least we should have more than 500,000 Biafrans in Britain. We need to create heavy awareness, bring to the notice of the world Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen who is calling for the end of terrorism in this world, who does not support terrorism, who supports the safety of Jewish people. We need to do that. I don't know who's calling me. Yellow? Io sono papà di Federico. Sì, ci vediamo. Sì, sta bene. Sta bene. Ok, di giugno, ok, ho capito. Ok, grazie. all'8:30, grazie. Ci vediamo. Ok, grazie. Buongiorno, ciao. All right. Sorry, my son's doctor is calling, and it was urgent. So you understand. So please, this part is very important. We need to use this to create awareness in Britain. We have this opportunity. Please let us not allow it to pass us by. Every lover of Nnamdi Kanu, every lover of freedom, every lover of Biafra, please, every innocent African that know what Nnamdi Kanu have gone through and what Biafra people are going through, please stand in solidarity with us. We need to create awareness, juxtapose these two people. Fattah, a terrorist sympathizer, Nnamdi Kanu, a British supporter, a white lover, and a Jewish lover, an American lover, and Britain, defender. Please use that to juxtapose, and then let this British government stop Nigeria of all the evil they have done to Nnamdi Kanu and the evil they are doing to Biafran people. Let Nnamdi Kanu go. Nnamdi Kanu must be set free unconditionally, not by pardon, but unconditionally. And Nigeria must be made to pay the damages of what they have done to Nnamdi Kanu. This is very important. I will create the awareness again in the afternoon when I have a little bit more of time. Let us look into this case of this Al-Fattah man who was set free from Egypt. and made a citizen from prison. Nnamdi Kanu was not made a prisoner, made a citizen from prison. He was a genuine citizen, and yet Britain have kept mute, allowing Nigeria to persecute him. This is very important. I will be back on this subject, and then we will intensify the awareness. Very, very, very important. Share this video and let it go viral, please. I have made all the posts about this Avatar guy on my X. Please go on my X and follow up the story, follow up the outcome of these things. Our people in Britain, create the awareness, and let's go with this. Please, I beg of us. Chukwu Kabiama bless you all. I am Vam. See you guys later in the day. I have to rush to work now. I will be back with this awareness. We must do this. It's very, very important. We owe it to Nnamdi Kanu. We owe it to Biafrans. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, James. Thank you, Ego. Thank you, Plan B. I see you all. My guys, I love you all.